We are on, and hey guys, it is good to see you, Mac and Pipes. It's
As
been,
well, Dr. Bill.
it's, oh wait, you have nothing to say, Pipes?
I,
Not,
I was gonna say the same thing. Ditto.
Well, how's
ditto.
your Halloween parties?
Ditto what Mac said.
Okay,
It's great to see you, Dr. Bill, as always. Like
well, thank you.
every week I look
That,
so
beard,
forward to listening to
that
you.
beard's growing in well.
Well, let
Bill.
me tell you a story. As you know, am for Pipe's sake, my background is psychology, but I'm also a martial artist. And being almost 68 and working out with guys, maybe 11 or 12 or whatever the hell their age is, I always get the shit beaten out of me. And for 2 years, I have shaved my head. I would just shave my head. You guys may remember the last time we met, I had a shaved head for some other reasons and just kept it going. And it was easier for me with a shaved head when I was working out and doing my martial arts for the paramedics to come by with an AED and zap me. Otherwise, my hair would start on fire and it was other issues. So I have, though I still do martial arts at the exact level I was doing before, still get hurt. But I started to grow my hair back, and instead of shaving it with that little $11 electrical thing that I had, I actually went to a barber for the first fucking time in 2 years this afternoon, and it was strange. More tattoos than I have seen in like one of my favorite Japanese Yakuza movies. Everyone was tatted up. Everyone was not 11. They were probably 13 or 14. In where I live in the state, you can't. I used to shave when I was very depressed. I would shave with a straight razor from my dad in the 40s.
Horizontally?
Yeah, horizontally. And so I would shave with that. And I asked to get, I grew it out for a couple months and had to clean it up a little bit. So I wanted my beard cleaned up and a straight razor. You cannot use a blade now. They use a disposable blade for
Wow.
hygiene issues, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, this guy, I walk in and there's like 5 or 6 people with 4,800 square feet of tattoos playing some rap music that apparently is not, who's that, Conway West or Yes? Kanye West, because there was nothing anti-Semitic over the airwaves. But then I get back into his back chair, and it was reserved for the elderly, I guess, because it had a cane and someone. It wasn't steps; it was a ramp, and they started playing my music, Motown. So I stayed there for an hour, just talking to the guy, and he's shaving me with his bullshit. What do you call it? Disposable razor, and doing this stuff. And $4,800 later, I'm here.
You look great. You
Thank
look
you.
awesome. Well, money well spent.
Money well spent. So, so that was my day. So tell me about your guys. What's been going on?
Well, first I have a question for you. So, do you think they went to disposable razors because receiving those tattoos, they have disposable needles to keep away from infection? So he kind of embraced it as he went to his own business.
The way the guy's hand was shaking, I think he went disposable to get rid of the evidence. Is my read. No, the guy was great, and he was actually incredible. I did very little whimpering. Well, there was a big whimper when I saw the tab.
That's a big accomplishment for you.
Yeah, very little whimpering, so it was cool. So tell me, guys, enough about me, maybe. So tell me what you guys were up to. It was Diabetic Week, wasn't it? Oh, Halloween. What? Anyone have a Halloween party?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We had a big Halloween party on Friday.
Mac, did you get that invitation? I don't remember. Oh,
my mailman's not upset with me, so hadn't delivered mail in a while, so I probably was caught up in that little bunch of mail.
I think Pipes forgets I have access to private air travel. I could have been anywhere at any time with just a little bit of notice. So I'm not sure.
I could have driven there as long as it took you to fly there. I could have picked you up at the airport. We would have had a good time.
Yeah, what could have been. So what
But
was
you know
the?
what?
I know those invites were in the mail.
We're that peripheral friendship. You know, nothing,
Oh, is that
we're
right?
not in the middle yet. Yeah.
All right. So what was it like without us? Go ahead. Tell
Oh, it
us.
was miserable.
Yeah.
It was a complete failure.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it.
Failure
I
of an
believe it.
evening.
Well, what'd you have to eat?
Yeah, it was good. Well, it was kind of a like chili, snacky, you know, people Jello shots. There was not a ton of substance.
Chili and Jello
But-
shots, my favorite. I could have had a great
Yeah,
time.
Those go together
pretty
quite
phenomenal.
well.
Were the newlyweds there?
No, so it was really good.
Were the
Pardon?
newlyweds there? I don't know if you remember, but your
Oh,
daughter
gosh,
got
yeah.
married a
Oh,
while
yeah.
ago.
Just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Well, they're like the kids are the ones. This was actually their party, but at our house.
Okay.
So you were invited. You were invited. It wasn't even your.
Yeah, I was invited. So it was a bunch of 20-year-olds and then, you know, like 8 or 10 old people.
Were you in costume? I'm hoping. I'm
Yeah.
praying. Tell me about it slowly.
Elvira.
I was Black Widow.
Oh, Jesus.
So we
Ooh,
were kind of
Elvira. Yeah.
I love
trying
that.
to do the
I love that
Avengers
holiday.
theme. So I had like this black full suit on and
Keep going.
and this red
Was it
wig.
was it painted? Was it painted on you, or was it actually clothing?
It looked like it was, but it was
Oh.
probably not supposed to.
All right.
And my youngest daughter actually was not happy about the costume at all when
About your
I-
costume?
with my costume. She
Her
thought it was
boyfriend
a
hit
little-
on you, or what happened?
No, she just thought it was a little too low cut. She's a very conservative child. And I told her that her father had ordered the costume for me, and her remark is, "Oh, he ordered that one specifically." Yeah.
Well-
Yeah, he specifically said, "Bring the low cut. Make sure she gets the low cut version of this plastic costume."
Did you
How come
point?
you're not wearing it now? I want to know.
Because I'm wearing it.
And then had the little red wig and
Holy
had
shit.
like my little gun slinging.
Oh, my God.
I'll send you guys a picture offline.
No, they'll confiscate my phone. But let me ask you this. Did you point out to your daughter that it's not really low cut? You're only 4'11". I mean, how tall are you? All right. So
Exactly.
I have a picture. I would have never been able to get into the door of my private jet based on your description. So Mac, what did you do for the week? What was happening with you?
First of all, I know. Are you cold, Bill? I mean, you got a vest on there. You're in Central California. It's
Well,
got to be what, 80 now?
We were in
80 is
Central
kinda cold.
California, but we were in Central California, but for security reasons, I didn't want to say where we are. But our place has been shut down. That's why we were running late at beginning of taping. That we've had almost Jose, 3.5, 4 ounces of rain in the last 14 days, and this place is fucking cold. It's wet. It's miserable. I'm gonna keep talking until the power goes down. So
Yeah. So what? 80 degrees, 75, 80. That way you got the vest on.
79.
Yeah. Okay. I figured as much.
It's a
Yeah,
bulletproof.
pretty low.
It's a bulletproof vest. Don't you know I'm important?
It's
People are
nothing
after
but
me.
rain here for the last.
That's why you got
day.
Cody and Tucker there.
Yeah.
People are after you.
They're in raincoats right now. So,
Oh, man.
so what's happening with you this week, Mac?
Just really a chill weekend. We live kind of remotely, so no trick-or-treaters. So I was able to stay, sit naked on the couch and ever worry about opening the door. So it worked out great.
Wait, you were naked on the couch all weekend?
Oh, of course, yeah. It was my weekend.
Isn't that nuts, Jose? I get his invitation, but
Isn't that nuts?
I didn't get Pipe's
Nuts on the
invitation.
couch.
Son of a bitch,
Oh,
nuts.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to have it out together to see how small we really are.
Thank you very much. All right. The image is burning in my good eye.
Oh, terrible.
So
No, we just chilled. I just chilled this weekend. Again, we're remotely, not very many trick-or-treaters. Zero trick-or-treaters, actually. Just We had a heavy rains all weekend, so it didn't do much.
So it was a good week, a safe week for everyone, which is the most important.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. This is what I want to know today. All right. And I'd like to talk as Mac and Pipes, and I'm Dr. Bill. I want to bring us back into our sexual healing podcast. And though it is wonderful as always to shoot the shit with you guys, we got to pay the bills. And with our tremendous number, our overabundance, by the way, of sponsors for this program, we've got to pay the man. Okay, we got the monkey on the back, and it's time to pay the man. So what I want to know today is, what is good sexual health? Let's talk about that. I know that's
a great question. Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys have answers, because I got no idea what's going on. But we all do our research for our interest, our passion for entertaining and educating. And I know that this has come up in the past, both on the internet and social media, in textbooks, in some of the journals that we all look at, and in our conversation, especially when we talk about good sexual health, as it was probably bantered around on Pipe's party about her costume. What do you guys think? Mac, tell me what your thoughts are on that.
I think of sexual health, I think of health that all healths, whether it's mental or physical, and I think they're all intertwined. I believe they're all intertwined. And I believe that because I'm pretty confident they are. And sexual health, I guess, is about how we feel about sex, how we feel about partnership, what we feel about relationships, what we feel about, and if we have good thoughts along those lines, I think that's a great start to good sexual health. As you get deeper into relationships and stuff, and understand what your partner enjoys, and your partner understands what you enjoy, that's also good sexual health. But I think what we really remiss is how important sexual health is to our overall well-being. I think it's coming more to the forefront now. If you read some of the studies out there, or some of the talking points, people are talking more about sexual health. We moved a lot just recently, last year. I think more when Simone Biles talked about her mental health, and she attended the Olympics, but she didn't compete. And mental health being on the forefront, I think that's allowed the other health, that being sexual health, to come to the forefront as well. But yeah, I believe sexual health, speaking for myself, it's very important to me. It's very important to my partner, my wife, and we, it helps with our overall relationship is communication. It helps with understanding. I'm probably getting a little deep here, but it's.
No, I talked to your wife. I don't think you're capable. Go ahead.
Well, she fakes it till she feels it. So,
there you go.
But no, as far as overall.
Wait, Trish, do we call 911? I don't know what the area code in her state is. Are you okay? What are you choking on?
Is she all right?
Are we going to do a segment on oral sex? Is she all right?
I don't know.
You okay?
Are you okay there, little lady?
So,
Yeah, I'm good.
Mac has.
The spirit. One last thing to say is the spiritual dimensions that really, make sexual health real as it is.
All right. So, that's a great foundation for the discussion, because I think it begs the question, when we talk about, as a senior, though I realized I didn't get my senior discount at my fucking haircut today, that son of a bitch. But that being said, I'll be back.
10%. A whole 10%.
It adds up. I'm on a fixed income. Jet fuel is highly expensive. But
you didn't have to use that jet fuel because Trish didn't get her invitation out to us.
I'm making money. So what you pointed out is the active sex has some peripheral or additional advantages other than just getting laid. And we all talk about being healthy as far as nutrition, and there's all sorts of diets out there, high protein, low carbohydrate diets, the need for exercise. But you're really touching on the fact that it's an emotional issue. Pipes, you buy into the active sex being good for us emotionally?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I think we can go down the path of endorphins, all of the good chemical releases that happen within the brain when there is that connection and that, not just the sexual aspect, but also the emotional to go along with the physical, and the mental aspect of it. But again, going back to kind of the endorphins and how good that is for you physically, and for women, sexual interaction and especially orgasms are very beneficial. They're beneficial for the same things: your mental health, the emotional interaction that you have with your partner, and being able to get to that point in your sexual interaction. But then it's also very physically helpful as far as, your muscles and the contractions of having an orgasm, and how beneficial that is to your, for pelvic prolapse. All kinds of things. We tell women to do Kegel exercises, and an orgasm is kind of a, Kegel contraction, but in the moment, when all of these other good, wonderful things are happening all at the same time. So yeah, the physical aspect of sex with your partner is beneficial across the board.
So Matt, or both of you actually, give me a non-physician's view of what entails on a female orgasm. What's actually going on in the pelvis? Doesn't have to be scientific. I'm just trying to think of what most people think about.
Well, I can't speak what goes on in the female pelvis, but Trisha's talking about the physical aspect of it. You get your heart pumping, your heart's pumping good, your blood's pumping, things are happening, and as a man, you can, when a woman's pelvis, you talk about a woman's pelvis, you can tell when a woman's pelvis is enjoying the act of sex, the intercourse, excuse me, and it's definitely a motivator. It gets you involved. If you have a really tight relationship with your partner, that you're having this interaction at the time, you both get into it really good, and it's a very positive experience. Sexual health.
A tight relationship emotionally, not a physically tight. I'm just asking.
Depends on the tools.
Oh, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a physical thing, but it's a positive relationship, and sexual health is about having a positive outlook on your body as well. So if a male and female, whoever side of the partner feels good about their body, they're going to express themselves sexually to you, and you're going to be able to receive it and understand that we're in concert here in the sexual act. So there's so much that goes on if you're having a strong sexual, thought of yourself. If you think yourself as being able to have good positive sex with your partner, stuff, it builds that self-esteem. And if you're in an act and the female is receptive, or your partner's receptive, it just allows it to be at a higher level than if you're not feeling good about each other.
Okay, let's
physically or emotionally.
Okay, I got that.
Kind of all over the place there.
And I appreciate it. Let's move over to pipes. And I know that maybe I led you guys astray when we talked about orgasm, thinking we're just talking about pelvic or vaginal contractions. A lot of women will experience orgasm by sneezing. So I'm just wondering.
That's when you give them more pepper.
Yeah, more pepper. So I'm just wondering, are you busy right now? Are you able to record with us, or you got something else going on?
I might need a minute.
You might need a minute. So
okay, I'll just take care of myself here. So
don't mind me.
Don't move.
Isn't it time for a station break? Don't we have anyone sponsoring us, Jose? I thought you were going to do that. We don't have a food truck or anyone. Nothing. All right. So I'm thinking. I'm thinking that every day we talk about a use it or or lose it phenomenon.
Lose it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and you guys have been with me for 20 years when we went on the lecture circuit, and that was a deal that we would talk about. In order to gain great sex, you've got to be physically into it, and if you don't have those morning erections, or you don't have those attempts at sexual response, so they're not perfect, and you don't exercise the penis either mechanically or medically, we lose that ability to have great sex. So when women orgasm and there's pelvic floor tightening, or when we say pelvic floor, the muscles around the pelvic area in the uterus, the vaginal tissue, the rectum, the bladder, all of those are kind of in medical school, we used to say for women, it was a bowl of muscle within another bowl of muscle. So we might be strengthening the vaginal tissue, but we're also strengthening perianal tissue and bladder tissue that helps with incontinence, it helps with pelvic pain, all those things. So what both of you are really talking about is that there is a non-sexual benefit for sexual activity, which is really important. Let's spend a moment on what's going on. Pipes, you mentioned the endorphins, which, by the way, Jose's been looking up, and they're almost as high. The endorphins are peaked in our bloodstream, almost as high in sneezing as it is in sexual function. So you're going nuts right now. So God bless you. Congratulations.
I shouldn't leak at all during that sneeze.
Let's talk about other aspects of sexual health. Though, yeah, sex feels good, and it makes us feel good about ourselves, about our partner. Where is the interplay between, in a committed, mature relationship, not a one-night stand, but where is the interplay on how we as a sexual being feel about our partner? How does that play in how we feel about sex in general? What's the interplay there? Does my question make sense?
Yeah, oh, for sure. It's the mental and emotional connectivity that you have now with this partner, that there's a trust factor, there is a love factor, hopefully, since we're talking long-term relationships.
Definitely respect factor.
Yeah, the respect factor, the physical compatibility factor. There's so many good things that come from a good sexual relationship between partners. I mean, you are connecting on so many levels versus just having an emotional relationship or whatever it is. You're really, really connecting mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So the good sexual health between a partnership, especially, is just such a huge proponent, in my opinion, for like a good relationship, a good long-standing relationship.
Strong thoughts. Mac, give me your final thoughts on this before we wrap it up.
Okay, to tie it in a different way, we talked earlier on a podcast about the negative aspect of porn. Porn is not healthy for us. We talk about comparing ourselves. I mean, people watch porn, compare themselves, hoping they can perform the way that these porn stars do. And that really breaks down our confidence and competency. So we need to stay away from porn and feel good about ourselves, knowing that we are competent, and that confidence in your competency, your confidence, your self-esteem, that really builds into a great sexual health. Sexual health is about being comfortable with yourself, not measuring yourself against anything other than your partner, the communication with your partner, making sure that you understand their wants and needs, they understand yours, and it's not a competition. It's not about, hey, I saw this, I want to, it's good sexual health is that self-esteem, that confidence, and the freedom of knowing that you're in a good place with your partner.
Mac, go ahead, Pipes.
I just want to say, so I know we've talked about porn in the past, at different lengths. Is your opinion straight up that all porn's bad?
My opinion as a clinician?
Well, both of you.
I'll let Dr. Bill answer that first.
All right. I think that I'm not sure, though. A lot of guys who are better at it, certainly Pipe's credentials in psychology just overshadow mine. It beats the shit out of my work, apparently. But there are a lot of sex therapists that I work with and psychiatrists that I work with and I see as a patient that believe that porn addiction is a real deal. I'm not so convinced. That's my naive deal. I think that, like we have talked about before, I think focusing on porn as a metric for success sexually is suicide. I think we can never compare.
Yeah.
You guys have
That's what I was trying to say.
You guys have seen me at was it Muscle Beach in Venice? You've seen my body. You see how cut I am. I've done this all naturally. You will never ever be able to meet my. You'll never be able to use me as a goal because you'll totally be depressed. You'll just sit in a room and think of different ways of cutting your wrists. So if we use porn as a metric or a guidance for success, we are fucking ourselves, literally. We're hurting ourselves badly. Now, we have in our TikToks, in our podcasts, both on Just the Tip America and Sexual Health podcast, done a lot of work and a lot of education on the value, and I truly believe this, on the value of comfortably expanding our sexual menu. We weren't born with this stuff. I wasn't born to be a mathematician or a physician or an artist. You guys weren't born. You learned it. So we need some sort of guidance. And porn in a limited way is allow for a person and their partner to comfortably explore stuff that they're ignorant of. And if they have a good communication, say, yeah, not for me. I'm not going to do that. Don't even want to try. Versus, you know what? It'd be kind of cool to spend the weekend somewhere else and do something a little differently. As long as you're comfortable with it and as long as your partner is comfortable with it. It screws people up horribly if it's accompanied by guilt. So, yeah, a little bit of porn, I think it's good for some people, and it helps them explore or expand their sexual menu. Drop dead correct, and I truly believe that. And that's something that we can discuss again at another time. It's not all bad. It's bad when it becomes the holy grail.
I agree. I think you said it very well, Bill. It's not a metric, but yeah, we don't want to be addicted to it. We don't want to watch every day and stuff. And you're right. It expands expands the exploratory aspect we have as humans. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's not a metric. We shouldn't be comparing ourselves, measure ourselves up against it. I'm a believer in soft porn. I think a woman is a beautiful, beautiful subject. And if my wife would allow it, I'd have paintings of women on my walls. I just think they're beautiful. So if you want to call that porn, then so be it. No, not a picture of you, Bill. Sorry.
Oh, but you don't think I'm beautiful?
No, I think you are. Yeah, and that doesn't mean anything's wrong with you.
Okay.
Anyway, so to answer your question, Pipes, do I believe porn is bad? In moderation, it's good.
Okay.
Good?
And I think that was kind of I think Dr. Bill actually stated that beautifully. Absolutely.
Yes.
Beautifully.
Oh, stop, please. You're too kind.
Okay, good time to cut here.
I'm throwing the bills at you.
Okay.
No, I think that was very, very well stated. And I think that's exactly how I feel. I don't think that porn is bad. I think excessively, or if we're going into, there are so many negatives of pornography. If we're going into child pornography or, very,
no question,
horrible, violent levels of pornography. But I think if people are just kind of touching on it, just to kind of,
no pun intended, touching
no
on it.
pun
Okay.
intended, to figure out kind of what, floats their boat a little bit. And in some aspects, that might be good. Maybe that's a conversation piece with a partner that then brings another level of intimacy into a relationship that makes it, a very productive and healthy sexual, encounter with your partner. So I'm, I agree. I think that you can go down a really, really bad path, and then you can go down a very healthy path, depending on, and again, what your interpretation of porn is. I think, David, you just kind of touched on that a little bit about the levels of things that people perceive or what their interaction choices are.
At full disclosure, I'll be very upfront. You guys, all of us agree on how horrible child porn and pedophilia. I'm not going to even joke about that, but I am going to tell you, just as insight, my idea of porn is a 4'11" blonde who sneezes in a very, very low cut black dress. So Pipes
with red hair, with a red wig.
Oh, stop! I got to finish the taping. Pipes, Mac, I'm Dr. Bill. Thank you guys so much for joining yet another episode of Sexual Healing Podcast. Our efforts to entertain and, most importantly, educate. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you, guys. Great job.
Yeah, enjoyed it. Thank you.